So the Zetech Sparks had their first game yesterday against Les Hippos, and they lost their first game. And today they're going to match up against REG. So I'm going to talk about Zetech versus REG in the next video, but in this one, I want to primarily focus on their first game. So this Zetech Sparks, this is their first time in Zone 5, and I didn't have too much expectations the way I have for KPA. Even for some reason, I can say I don't have that high expectations like that because, anything can happen in basketball. And right now, as we speak, the team that has the ability to go ahead and win more games and be able to play very good basketball will qualify for the WBLA. So being Zetech's first time, this was the first time. They had the jitters. The way they approached this Les Hippos game, they were kind of not ready for it. I can say mentally, because when the game progressed from the second quarter moving onward, the game got quite difficult for the Zetech Sparks, and their lack of adjustments was the reason as to why they were not able to win this ball game. And when I monitored this game and I was watching it, even I rewatched it again, I felt like they seemed not ready and they were not prepared for this type of basketball, because majority of the time in KBF, in the women's division, the women's teams don't encounter such adversity, and the Zetech Sparks had to learn this the hard way. Had this been KPA versus the Les Hippos, there was a high likelihood KPA would have won this game easily, but the Zetech Sparks, they just have a very, very long way to go. And in this one, statistically, I must say, I was very disappointed. I wasn't expecting this dud game coming from Zetech Sparks, considering the fact that they're a team that they're supposed to at least show that they have something to offer in Group B. But it's unfortunate, and there's a high likelihood they're not going to make it. And even I made a comment in a forum, WhatsApp forum. I said, even if Zetech managed to qualify to the WBLA, I don't think they'll be able to even pose any significant threat to the other teams. But anyway, it is what it is. So moving into the statistics, my God, this was when things just went sideways. And without further ado, let's just get into it. The Zetech Sparks shot 28% from the field, and with that shooting efficiency, winning a basketball game will be next to impossible. And on 2-point field goals, it was 35.2%, and from the three, it was 16.2%. So this was the worst, and the only thing that carried them was the shooting at the line, and they were 62.5%. So this was the main reason as to why they were not able to, be efficient, especially when it came to scores. And shot selection was the biggest problem, as see chucking up shots, and there's no formula, there's no method in which the team was going for, and the lack of identity of this team was the issue. And run and gun is getting exposed, and majority of Kenyan teams when they play, the majority of the time they just want to go ahead, run the floor, score. There are no half-court plays, nothing like that. And when that's taken away and the other team catches on, it's game over. And the Zetech Sparks lost this game. So the team in itself, they didn't have the ability to be able to pick up their spots very well in the game. Even despite Christina Kinyi's 18 points and 7 rebounds, it was still not enough. And even Beryl Odhiambo, she had 10 rebounds in this game, but it all meant nothing, because if you can't convert on the points, it doesn't mean anything at all. And Marsha, she tried. She had 7 points. She was 3 of 11 in 14, damn near like 15 minutes played. 7 points, 8 boards. Means struggling with 3 turnovers. Evelyn had 5 turnovers in this one, so this was bad. And it was such an embarrassing game, and I feel like Coach Obi has a lot of explaining to do, especially when it comes down to how they go about planning the strategies for this team's execution on the court, because it was non-existent. The players that are used to getting their spots in the court, and going ahead and scoring. They didn't even get the ability. They didn't even have the chance because the opposition that they had was not letting them. And the bad habits that the Zetech Sparks have developed inside the women's division in KBF are now coming to roost. And we're seeing this manifestation with the statistics as we see them right now. So the team had a very abysmal performance, and I can even say being disappointing is an understatement because of how these people played. And if you actually look at the game frame by frame, everything, you'll see that the Zetech Sparks had literally no idea on what they were supposed to do in there. So it was bad. And on fast break points, at least they led in that, and that's the only way they could score, because the majority of the time running guns. They had 21 fast break points and 16 points on second chance points, and that's it. At least the bench mob was good, but it was not good enough. And Les Hippos were a team that looked like they are beatable, and Zetech Sparks could have been able to beat them, but it's unfortunate. I mean, they couldn't. And the only 6 lead changes happened at the end of the first quarter and at the start of the second. All through from the midway of the second quarter to the fourth, Les Hippos dominated the Zetech Sparks, and the Zetech Sparks dug themselves in a hole, and they couldn't even get out of that. And that's one of the main reasons as to why they lost this game. And it's a sad situation. And this is not something that should happen. And it shouldn't happen because of the type of stage that they're playing. I mean, it's the first game, and I'm not sure if they can be able to change or even do anything different as they face REG. So it's a poor performance all around from the Zetech Sparks team, and I don't even know where they can go from here, because looking at how they played and looking at the type of opposition they're going to play REG today, and I'm not sure if they are ready mentally, because REG are going to go ahead and come hard at them. Even with the signings that the Zetech Sparks had, they don't have the bench depth, they don't have even the star power like the way REG have. I'm not saying that the Zetech Sparks are going to get beat like that. I'm not saying that. They might win, but it's going to be an uphill task. And going by this previous game that they played yesterday against Les Hippos, even with a team that doesn't even have recognized stars like that, they still struggle. So what about this whole situation where they're going to match up against REG? Will they be able to do anything? So that is it's a head scratcher. And looking at even the coaching staff, Coach Obi is out of his depth, and I don't think it's going to be easy. They might even go winless in this one, and it's going to be embarrassing. And this will have been that time where the strategies that they have been working on, and the gameplay that they've been working on when they are playing in KBF, this was the time that's supposed to pay off. And looking at how they are playing, I'm not too optimistic with this Zetech Sparks team. I honestly gave them the benefit of the doubt. I said, maybe they will go ahead and win it. But looking at how they played their first game, I'm not writing them off, but every single game is going to get harder and harder to go ahead and win it. So, it's going to be a tough one for Zetech. I mean, this is a wake-up call, especially when it comes to local basketball. I mean, you can get to the mountaintop if you're able to go ahead and play with teams that have the ability to be able to offset your power. That's where the rubber meets the road. So I'm not that optimistic with this team, especially when they're playing against REG. I'm not sure they're going to fare. I mean, it has been tough for them all through, and hopefully they can be able to make the game interesting against REG, because REG are going to come at them hard. Because going by this game against Les Hippos and the shooting inefficiency that the Zetech Sparks exhibited, is not only from the field but also from the 3-pointers. Shooting from the 3 is a problem, especially when it comes to Kenyan basketball. And looking at how they shot from the 3, it was poor, 16.2%. That was out of 37 attempts, only 6 threes went in. So you can't win a basketball game like that. And if you look at the Les Hippos, they didn't attempt a lot of threes like that. and they were able to shoot at least 5 of 18. That was 27.8%. And that was the main reason as to why they were able to, be in this game, because they didn't chuck too many threes like that. And it all comes down to proper shot selection and coaching. And that's something that is severely lacking from the Zetech Sparks. Can they be able to change? Leave your feedback down in the comment section down below what you think about this. So I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.